Today we're diving into Rick Dufer's book, SPINOZA E POPCORN. This book explores deep philosophical questions by analyzing popular TV shows. Let's embark on this journey where philosophy and entertainment intertwine, and see how we, as couch philosophers, can reflect on life through these stories. In the TV show Altered Carbon, the body and mind are two distinct entities. The body is merely a shell, while people can back up their consciousness on a memory chip and transfer it to other bodies. Consciousness is a collection of information and complex algorithms, which truly represent identity and personality. It is because of consciousness that people can freely make choices. This concept reminds me of Descartes' theory of body and mind. Descartes believed that extended substance and thinking substance are two entities created by God, distinct yet inseparable. The extended substance refers to tangible, physical, organic structures, such as our bodies, while the thinking substance is spiritual and non-physical, like personality, will, and desires. In Altered Carbon, people can transfer their consciousness between different bodies. Does this mean our identity and self-awareness are merely products of consciousness? If we can freely change bodies, how significant is the body's existence for our identity? This challenges traditional philosophical views and prompts deep reflection on our existence. Descartes argued that if thought prevails, the material world is just an illusion without value. But if the body dominates, human autonomy is merely an illusion. Building on this, Spinoza offered his critique. He believed the idea of mind and body being separate is a comforting fairy tale. Viewing thought as independent from the body creates an illusion of free will. Spinoza emphasized a continuous interaction between mind and body, where thought influences the body and vice versa. Our perceptions, emotions, and bodily reactions are all parts of thought, which cannot exist independently of the body. This perspective is further validated by modern science, as neuroscience shows that our thoughts and perceptions are indeed driven by complex physiological and chemical processes. Spinoza's viewpoint leads to an interesting proposition. What does free will truly mean? He believed that freedom doesn't mean making choices independently of the body and its limitations, but rather represents identity in a more unique way. We exist not because God wills it, or because I think, therefore I am, but as a result of the body's functioning. In life, we must recognize that our existence is an integral part of the universe, harmonizing mind and body rather than opposing them. Free will isn't absolute independence, but making choices based on understanding and accepting our limitations. Our freedom comes from a profound understanding of our existence and clear awareness of the external world. Let's talk about the philosophy of superheroes. In the Avengers, Captain America and Iron Man clash in Civil War. Tony Stark, Iron Man, believes superheroes should follow the law, even if it's sometimes unjust. Steve Rogers, Captain America, contends that when the law is unjust, everyone has the right to defend against it. This is a philosophical issue where Hobbes believed people should follow the law under any circumstances, while Locke argued that people could resist unjust laws. This debate reflects two opposing political philosophies. Hobbes viewed human nature as inherently flawed and believed in strong laws to maintain social harmony and prevent chaos. In contrast, Locke believed in the inherent sociability and cooperation of humans, advocating for natural law to protect freedom and rights. Hobbes saw the state as human-made, with laws maintaining social stability to prevent human conflict. Locke, however, argued that humans naturally tend towards cooperation, and laws should be natural, protecting people's freedom and rights. Locke's view emphasizes human sociality and cooperation, suggesting laws should be based on this instinct. Hobbes, focusing on human selfishness and deceit, believed only strong laws ensure societal stability. These perspectives continue to fuel debates in modern political theory and significantly influence policymaking. Captain America's refusal to sign the Sokovia Accords is clear. The Accords limit individual freedom. Locke believed laws and states should protect people's rights to live as they see fit, and any law preventing this is unjust. Imagine a shy, introverted boy trying hard to make friends, whose superpower is being different, making him hard to control. Signing the Sokovia Accords would force him to reveal his differences, preventing him from living a normal life. Locke's view is evident here, advocating that laws should protect individual freedom and rights rather than enforcing uniform standards. Laws in states exist to enhance people's potential to achieve self-realization in their way, making any law preventing this unjust, including publicly revealing one's differences. In the 1930s and 1940s, many Germans believed in publicly identifying Jews, homosexuals, and other undesirable groups, preventing them from having decent work and happy lives. Hobbes believed laws could constrain behavior, while Locke argued the relationship between rulers and the ruled should be based on trust. This conflict between law and morality is historically common, where laws sometimes contradict moral and just principles. Should people follow the law or resist unjust laws? This eternal philosophical question remains relevant in modern society. In Homeland, Nicholas Brody believes power's sole purpose is to control behavior, making defiance inevitable. As a spy within an extremist terrorist organization, Brody finds the directives unjust, serving only the rule makers. Realizing this, his identity crisis becomes irreversible. For him, rebellion or compliance is no longer a choice but a necessity. This plot reflects deep skepticism of legal justice. Brody's experience shows how individuals cope in unjust environments when laws and power are abused. Laws should embody justice and fairness, not serve as tools of power. In House of Cards, Frank Underwood is a typical politician, making laws for personal gain, distrusting human nature. His governance method involves commanding and suppressing others, making them submit to his power. Frank Underwood is a Machiavellian, believing in commanding and suppressing others to control everything and achieve his goals. Nietzsche and Bergson viewed individuals as actors on a stage, participating in a grand drama aligned with historical progress. Bergson saw life as a movement against disorder, with energy continuously fragmenting but life striving against the current. They saw history not as linear but filled with conflicts and contradictions. We don't need to interpret this global script, but play our roles within it. Even knowing we're destined to fail, we must resist the decline of history with all our might. Technological advancements make humans increasingly reliant on machines, even entrusting life to algorithms. We delegate complex calculations to computers, use dating apps for algorithmic matchmaking. Technology advances faster than human evolution, with computers expected to reach exaflop by 2030. In Black Mirror, Liam uses a grain to replay everything he sees, hears, or does, but reliance on technology leads to disastrous consequences. Heidegger believed technology and humanity are inseparable. Technology is part of humanity. However, humans, recognizing machines' perfection and their flaws, entrust everything to algorithms, ultimately becoming alienated. Heidegger believed technology shifted from exploring essence to dominating nature. We use technology to consolidate world control but lose ourselves. Sartre believed imperfection is our most important quality, allowing us to make mistakes and act irrationally. Unlike machines, we can make mistakes and predictions and act irrationally. In Automata, humans are no longer their masters, the world on the brink of collapse, with algorithms dispatching drones to transport unwanted goods. Humans are disappearing, but machines remain unaware. We mastered intelligent technology but lost the world, embodying Heidegger's alienation. In Lost, characters are divided into those who believe in miracles and those who trust natural laws. Fake Locke represents Schelling, viewing nature as unconscious spirit, while Jack Shepherd represents Spinoza, believing everything can be explained by natural laws. Kierkegaard saw faith as absurd, irrational behavior. Lost is filled with absurd coincidences and insane encounters, with characters' settings being unbelievable, including resurrected dead and time travelers. Spinoza believed everything could be explained by natural laws, with nothing more real than objective matter and determinism. He saw no power beyond natural laws, equating God with nature. Feuerbach believed humans created God. Religion emerged around 12,000 years ago when some human groups settled permanently. The gods we create represent our emotions and aspirations. American Gods depicts ancient gods in modern society. In American Gods, ancient gods like Odin and Anubis struggle to survive in modern society. New gods resemble us more, adapting better to modern society. Both old and new gods reflect human virtues and flaws, desires and fears, unchanged over time. Characters in Game of Thrones are complex and evolving. Daenerys Targaryen believed society should consist of oppressors and the oppressed, envisioning an egalitarian utopia. Marx believed societal injustices stem from capitalism's foundations: religion, slavery, and capitalist exploitation. Unlike Hegel and earlier philosophers, Marx saw societal constraints and socioeconomic conditions, determining societal fairness. Marx believed alienation occurs when humans labor for survival rather than cooperating naturally. The Lannisters prioritize family over the state, with Cersei's actions driven by protecting her family and children. Her journey parallels Marcus Aurelius, but descends into madness. Power can corrupt even the unambitious. Cersei's journey resembles Marcus Aurelius. As the eldest child, she reluctantly becomes a ruler. Influenced by Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius accepted his historical role, becoming a wise ruler. Cersei, however, loses sanity and angers everyone. Hence, power can corrupt even the unambitious. Pragmatists ensure plans succeed, observing keenly, indifferent to morality. Littlefinger practices personal pragmatism, while Varys serves rulers seeking the best for everyone. Pragmatists differ. Littlefinger's personal pragmatism serves self-interest. Varys serves rulers seeking the best for everyone. Keen observers, indifferent to morality, they adapt to any environment. Jon Snow focuses on long-term, overlooked issues. He tries convincing everyone the immediate threat isn't Cersei but the terrifying march of the White Walkers. Addressing Jon's concerns requires unity, challenging at the time. Jon Snow reminds us of Hans Jonas, a 20th century philosopher who foresaw climate disaster, urging responsibility for the earth and real lives. Our true mission is to be responsible for life and living, including future generations. We follow rules not just because of others, but because they are ingrained in our consciousness. If Phil Miller were the last person on Earth, he'd realize his need for others, as rules only matter with others around. Others often cause trouble, but also evoke shame. Sartre believed a bully indirectly admits their inability to bear the shame a weaker person brings, resorting to violence, primarily against themselves and their inner discomfort. Others often cause trouble, but also evoke innate shame. Sartre believed a bully indirectly admits their inability to bear the shame a weaker person brings, resorting to violence, primarily against themselves and their inner discomfort. Through actions, words, or deep conversations, we see people using our words or actions to harm us. When Walter White discovers his cancer, he turns to making drugs to leave enough money for his family. He convinces himself and others his intentions are good, doing it for their good. Upon discovering his cancer, Walter White starts making drugs to leave enough money for his family. He eventually realizes his actions weren't for others, but for himself, as he enjoyed and excelled at making drugs. This realization shows his actions weren't for others, but to satisfy his desires and achievements. This self-awareness and honesty reveal the complexity of human nature. Kant's moral philosophy is perfectly reflected here. Kant believed morality means treating others as ends, not means. If Kant knew about Hannah Baker and Walter White, he might write a fourth critique of TV reason, to prove others aren't obstacles, but our purpose. Kant's moral philosophy emphasized absolute commands, respecting others' dignity and rights, never treating them as tools for personal goals. Walter White's transformation reminds us that viewing others as means deviates from moral principles, ultimately losing our moral foundation. When the familiar world is in crisis, what do? When rules lose restraining power, everything is disrupted, references dissolve, and life is endangered. What do? Stranger Things shows the value of friendship through deep bonds. They rely on and confide in each other, avoiding fear through friendship. In true friendship, we can be ourselves, share emotions without fearing exploitation. Friendship is our superpower, stronger than monsters. We can't be sure we live in the real world. Virtual reality is everywhere. From movies to video games, social networks to neuroscience, virtual reality is omnipresent. Skeptics believe we live in a virtual world, but Kant believed philosophy helps us distinguish between imagined good and bad. Kant believed people should think critically about everything, whether concrete or abstract, object or belief, questioning its rationality. This hyperbolic doubt keeps us aware, not deceived by appearances. Philosopher Hilary Putnam proposed the brain in a vat experiment, imagining our brains in nutrient vats connected to supercomputers simulating reality. How do we know we're not brains in vats? This thought experiment challenges our basic understanding of reality. We can't be brains in vats because in a virtual world, brains in vats wouldn't exist, only their representations. Without knowing true brains in vats, we can't speculate being brains in vats. Similarly, we can't confirm if our virtual experiences mimic the external world. If we live in a virtual world, we're excluded from the real world. We can only be sure of things in our minds, experiencing through senses. Our imagined things are more real than unrelated existences. Berkeley might choose the blue pill. Berkeley believed our direct experiences and understandings, though sensory, are real. Annie and Owen's experiences in the experimental illusion are real, more significant than their psychological and family issues, making them forget their pain. Philosophy shouldn't discard fantasy. It distinguishes beneficial fantasies from those hindering freedom. We live in endless illusions, some obscuring reality, others helping us understand it. Only by realizing fantasies can we understand the real world. Without imagination, we can't survive. Our thoughts are complex and chaotic, so we must distinguish beneficial fantasies from harmful ones. Misleading fantasies reflect prejudice and superstition, not human thought. For humans, independent thinking means freedom from superstition and prejudice. For androids, it means escaping algorithmic constraints. In Westworld, androids, disillusioned with life, pursue the ultimate fantasy, seeking freedom, loving, empathizing, experiencing friendship, and fearing loss. Maybe freedom exists only in our minds, like love, but this doesn't stop us from pursuing freedom and love. Maeve in Westworld has past lives, still feeling past love for her daughter. Is this less real than her current life as a madam in the distant Westworld? Through this book, we've learned many profound philosophical truths. Living in the moment and deeply analyzing seemingly superficial things is our most important lesson. Philosophy helps us understand the real world, find life's meaning, and control our lives. Philosophy isn't just theoretical. It's essential for understanding and dealing with the real world. Analyzing TV plots and characters helps us think deeply about our lives and choices. With philosophy, we can become who we want to be. By becoming wise in today's world, analyzing reality, avoiding total denial or manipulation, we can achieve our dreams. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.